like to start my back day with some push-ups. Over the years, I have had to do knee variation push-ups. I've hardly made it to 5 without getting really tired in my upper body strength. But at this point, with all of the work I have put in chest and upper body, I can really get down all the way to the ground with a normal full push-up. Here I'm at the cable machine and I'm going to do lat pull downs. So in this case, you want your arms really wide and you want to pull down into your chest so that your back lats, which create that V-shape look, are strained and stretched. I usually do 5 sets and I am doing anywhere between 8 and 12 reps, moving up and down the weight as I need to. The most important part of lat pull downs is when you get the bar to your chest, you want to squeeze your back lats together. What is that? Look at that. This is no easy sport. Stupid mistake. Scrape my leg. That stings. Blood, sweat, and tears. Here I'm positioned on the bench to take a dumbbell and pull up and into my hip for a back row. So I don't have a rowing machine at home or this option on the cable machine that I have. So an alternate option is to get on the bench, position this way, one arm at a time. Then I'm going to switch arms and I'm going to do the exact same motion, and what you are doing is pulling the dumbbell up and a little bit towards your waist so that you get that back pull. Here I'm doing a cable variation of what a row would be. So I can't sit down, but I am using a handlebar, and I'm pulling it very tight into my back. This is working the muscles around the spine. Another rowing variation that I do is I take my barbell with about 65 pounds or so, and I slightly lean over with my back straight. I have my hands over the bar, and I am pulling a row that weight into my back. And I will do 5 sets of this as well. Now with almost the exact same motion, I'm going to do 5 more sets of this rowing, but I've got my hands turned opposite, and it's now more of a pull row, although I'm working the same back muscles. This variation really cuts deep into the back. Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning back into another episode with my video podcast called Dead Center. I am in a bodybuilding prep season for a figure competition. If you have not seen any of my previous episodes, go back and follow me through the journey, but that is kind of what is going on. So a couple of weeks ago now, I mentioned that I was feeling kind of stuck and on a plateau, not making a lot of movement in the progression that my body composition should be achieving. And so I was going to reach out to my very first trainer that I had during my first bodybuilding show a few years ago, work with my current trainer who's with me in the gym every day, looking at my sessions. And then I also was able to talk to a nutrition specialist that I know personally. So with all of that feedback, just kind of going over some results, some measurements, some weight, diet, macros, the lifts, all of the stuff is a science. I've mentioned that a lot. So finally have some updates to share with you guys, and hopefully I will explain everything. Let's go. So it is March 8th. I am currently sitting at 173 pounds exactly, and I'm also down a couple of inches in measurements throughout different parts of the body. So overall, I'm feeling really good today. It's been a couple weeks of making some adjustments and 7 full days of a complete week of the new macronutrients that I am taking, and also the new weightlifting routine that I am doing. And then I'm doing 5 a.m. fasted cardio. So for the last week, I've been getting up at 5 in the morning to do fasted cardio, getting that session done, having a little bit of quiet time before the day starts. And although it's hard to get up, it just becomes a routine. And for whatever reason, I just decided it was going to happen. I made myself get out of bed that first day, which is the hardest step. And I've enjoyed it every single morning. My day, I just feel energized. I feel like I'm in a better mood all day. I feel just happy, content in general, and I just have more time in the day to get things done. It's weird how maybe even enough extra hour in the morning of getting up, you're just so productive. My house is quiet. I can move about and get some things done, and it's been really cool. So I've enjoyed that time in the morning, and walking on the treadmill for 30 minutes is not like difficult cardio to do. So it's been fine. So that's kind of the first thing that I've done as far as changes. I just decided that myself. Nobody recommended me to do that. I just thought, I think I should do this because as I've said before in my previous posts, I am so tired at the end of the day. I just have enough energy to get through a really heavy lifting session, let alone adding 30 to 45 minutes of cardio on top of that with all the evening activities and family time and dinner and cleanup and everything. So getting up at 5 a.m. has been a game changer this last week, and I'm going to keep going. The next change that I'm going to make comes from the recommendation from my very first trainer that I had. It was great to catch up with him. And overall, I was really encouraged because he was very impressed with where I'm sitting right now in comparison to my very first show with him and going through that journey for the very first time. So I felt encouraged, and I felt like that I really have made a lot of progress, and I look very different to him now than I did at, this time in my prep season, the very first time I ever competed. So he had just nothing but good things to say and encouragement to share with me. And so that was just like emotionally nice and just awesome. So that was something I guess I needed from someone who is a professional, because sometimes you just get stuck in your head, you can't see it. What he recommended that I do is I need to change my diet around and the type of grams, the amounts of grams that I have for my macronutrients. So for the last 7 days, I've been doing 180 grams of protein per day. It's over a gram per pound I weigh, but I was doing about 150 grams. So I've upped 30 grams of protein per day. Then he took my carbohydrates down to 100 grams per day, and I was eating between 140 and 150 grams of carbs per day. My fat grams kind of have stayed the same. So I'm doing about 45 grams of fat per day, and that doesn't change. The type of fat that you feed your body is good. When you do healthy fats and omega-3s and things like that, it really, really works well with the science of the other macros that you're putting in your body. And so the protein part actually hasn't been that hard. I just sometimes drink an extra protein shake. The carbs, however, have been a little bit more difficult to manage, but I have found some ways to get in a lot more volume of foods that have less carbs and calories. So that's been kind of nice. And overall, with those changes, was a little nervous to begin that, but I feel fine every day. I feel satisfied with my hunger. I haven't been craving anything really bad to put me in a psychological maybe backspin or, questioning my life decisions and eating a bag of whatever because I'm, ravishing through the pantry and everything. It's actually been fine. So I've got a really, really good I guess, schedule of eating, and I prep some things ahead of time. I bring things with me so that that's what I'm going to eat. And if we're going somewhere else or something, whatever, it doesn't matter. I already have my food with me. I have my macros planned and calculated out for that day, and it really keeps me like grounded, and it keeps me focused and disciplined. And at the end of the day, that's just what you do. So my current trainer, who is able to watch me in all of my lifting sessions, giving me feedback, making sure my form is right, just being a wonderful accountability to me to get in there every day. There's days where I have literally asked, do I have to do this? Because I don't want to, I don't feel like doing it. And he says, let's go, or what time are we training? And sometimes he won't even feed into my, whining approach. Let's take bench press, for example. So I would do a flat bench press, and I'll put as much weight as I can possibly do on that bar. And then for 3 cycles, I am going, 6 to 8 reps per thing, and just failing almost, on that last set. And then I'll go to the next chest exercise, or on leg day, so I'm doing different exercises, but I'm doing pretty much as much weight as I can handle and failing. So his suggestion was, in order to start breaking down fat a little bit more, I should do more like 5 sets of a lift, go less weight, and then increase my repetitions. So what that has done has increased my heart rate during the actual lifting session, which kind of feels like I'm doing even more cardio. So instead of putting, 115 pounds on the bench to lift 6 to 8 times, I'm doing like 75 pounds on the bench, but I'm doing that 5 different times, and I'm doing usually 5 sets of 10. So I'm kind of countering that a little bit, and the repetitions are just crazy. So currently, for the last 7 days, hit all the muscle groups twice. I have lifted like 500 repetitions like each day, because I'm doing 5 exercises, maybe 8 to 12 reps every single time with weight that I can do that at. So I'm not failing my muscle like I was doing. I think the biggest difference in all of that is my body was just still kind of in a bulking maybe phase, although I'm cutting and I'm eating differently and all of that, and I'm adding the cardio, but because of the heavy weight that I'm straining on my muscles, it's like it was holding on to maybe something there. So that's kind of the science that we have to do sometimes, and there you go. So like I said, after doing that for 7 days, every single time I have finished a workout, which is 2 muscle groups per day. So one day it's legs and shoulders, the next day it's chest and triceps, the next day it's back and biceps, then I take a rest, and then the next day you just start over again, and you just repeat that cycle. So 2 muscle groups per lifting session, 5 complete sets, different exercises, and then you're repping out like 8 to 12 repetitions per thing. So that is a lot of repetitions. And to kick all that off, I only get like a 30 to 40 second rest between each set that I do. So that keeps my heart rate up as well. Gets through the workout in a good hour and 15 minutes, which is awesome. But I have been so sore. I think my muscles are very confused as to what I'm doing to them. But just adding those 2 extra sets with less weight has, I think, kind of been a game changer this week. And I'm super pumped about it. And, it's hard in its own way, but I feel the results. So that's really, really cool. So I'm just going to keep going with this for a little while. Again, I had a whoosh effect Even yesterday, I took my weight and I was like 172 and a half. Today, I'm 173. So it's just kind of, give or take a little bit each day. But I'm seeing the scale move in for the first time in a long time. And I not just move like a half a pound, but like really drop. And so consistency is huge. Maybe the fasted cardio at 5 in the morning is also helping in that. I've lost a half an inch in my legs, a couple inches in my hips, and another half an inch around my waist. So I will take that all day long, and they're really, really great results. I feel great. I'm excited to keep going and pushing through. So the question is, what about May 24th for the Buckeye Natural competition? Can I make it? Today's March 8th. It makes a little under 3 months that I have before show day. Ideally, if I keep moving like I did these last 7 days, I think it's possible to show up and be ready for that show. Also making adjustments like at the end of 3 or 4 weeks if I need to, tweaking anything that I need to, upping the cardio from 30 minutes to maybe an hour at the end of the month might be a reality, things like that. So it's possible. It's also possible that, my body is just not going to prep in a 6-month or 5-month window like it could have in my 20s. And I'm going to just have to take a longer prep season and maybe compete at the end of summer or in the fall. I don't really care. When I first did a prep, I was determined to make a date. I picked a show, and it was like that was the law. I had to make that show no matter what. And I'm pretty sure that I hurt my body in the process. I hurt my mind in the process. I had a trainer who, pushed me for that date. And we made a lot of changes, things that wouldn't be maybe as naturally with time. Like I was doing, there was a few weeks where I was doing a couple hours of cardio per day. And I even went against my trainer's, his own beliefs about being all natural, like all natural, and took a fat burner pill for about a month or so before my show. And I just look back on that and I'm like, in the end, if your body's not progressing the natural way, then you got to just keep pushing it for a while until it gets there. And I think overstressing it just to make a date on the calendar is not wise. So I've learned from that. And at this point, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And if like 3 weeks before the show happens in May and I know I'm not going to be ready, I'm not going to register for it last minute and get my suit ready and all of that stuff. It's fine. I'll just wait and push it back to the end of the year. So still up in the air as if I'm going to make the Buckeye Natural competition in May of this year. That is my goal. That is my hope. But we're going to do it the healthy way, the wise way, and I know I'll compete this year. It just may not be in May, but let's hope for the best.